So the purpose of this video is to show you how to restore a broken DS light. So this is a DS light that I recently purchased on eBay for $10. So not that bad. And it's broken. It doesn't, the seller mentioned that it doesn't power on. And so we'll take a look at that issue. Now the purpose of this video is not to show you how to fix every single problem that may arise, but just to show you how to fix this particular problem, and whatever it may be. And the first thing I do when purchasing a broken DS, there's several things that I actually look for before I purchase. This one's in pretty good condition. That's the first thing I check. It has some scratches on it, as you can see, and it's pretty dirty, but we could always clean that up. But it's not in too terrible of a condition. I also check to see if the hinges are broken, because it's a big thing. The reason is it's a very common issue that these hinges will break. Generally when they're very fragile, and when it gets dropped, it's a common issue that they get broken. Plus, if it's on this side, if it's broken, then you might have an issue with the top screen, because the ribbon cable for the top screen feeds through here and it connects to the motherboard. So you kind of want to watch out for that. And also, what's nice is if the DS comes with a Game Boy Advance slot cover, this commonly gets lost, and if you search for DSs on eBay, the majority of them will not have this. And it's not necessary. It doesn't. It's just nice to have it. And generally, people will sell these slot covers by themselves for like $5. So when you find a DS that actually has one for $10 total, then that's pretty good. Okay, so like I said, the seller mentioned that it doesn't power on, so we'll want to test that out first. And so the first thing I do is just try powering it on. And as you can see, nothing happens. The power light doesn't come on, and nothing happens on the screens. The reason we want to test that is because it could help us narrow down what might be the issue. Because if you do power it on, and sometimes you'll see that the screens might flicker on and flicker off, or maybe just the top screen will do it, or just the bottom screen. And those are really specific issues that are easy to fix majority of the time. Or sometimes it'll power on, but one of the screens might be cracked, or it might be water damage. In this case, it just doesn't power on at all. And so the first thing I would think of is maybe the battery's dead. So first thing I would do is connect it into a power source. Here we go. So here I'll just connect it and see what happens, if it'll charge. So as you can see, the charging light comes on, then switches off immediately. Do it again. Okay. And so there could be a couple issues with that. The easiest issue, which is generally how you want to start things, is that the battery might be dead. Because even if everything is good, if you have a dead battery, then that's going to happen. For example, here is a restored DS that I restored recently, and everything on this works good. It works great. I use it daily for my game playing. And so for the purpose of this demonstration, I removed the battery, because a dead battery is just the same as no battery, basically. So without the battery, you can't play the DS. You can't even plug it into the wall outlet, because as you can see, same thing, same issue. The charging light comes on, then it goes off again. And so, and this is a good working DS. A DS with so there's a possibility that this DS only has a dead battery. If that's the issue, then that's great, and it's an easy fix. I mean, a lot of the times when people say that their DS isn't working, that's usually the issue. But so what we want to do is we want to unscrew the battery cover, and we want to replace it with a known good battery. So we don't know if this is a bad battery or not. So let's put that to the side, and we'll take a known good battery. This is the battery from the previous DS, and we'll pop it in, and we'll see if it powers on. Nope. So it didn't power on, so let's see if it'll charge. Maybe. Nope. Okay, so it's not a battery issue, because I know this is a good battery. So let's take that out. So this battery may or may not be good. We don't know, but we know it's not. The main issue is not with the battery. The next thing we would need to do is to open this up. Just pop it open and see what we could figure out from the inside. And I'm gonna fast forward to when we have it open, because I have made a video on how to take a DS apart completely, and how to put it back together again too. So if you need to know how to do that, just go ahead and watch those videos. I don't have that many videos on, so it should be pretty easy to find. So I'll be back. Okay, so here we are with the DS taken apart. For the most part, I haven't taken the top screen off all the way yet. We don't really need to yet, because we're just testing things right now. Okay, so the important bits here are the motherboard. The motherboard looks pretty good. Sometimes it'll have stuff on here that will need to be cleaned off. It doesn't mean it's good, in good working condition, but actually when I was taking this apart, I already discovered what was the issue. So it'll make this fairly easy to diagnose now. The issue is with the bottom screen. Now, it seems to me that maybe the owner or the previous owner or whoever at some point bought a replacement bottom screen, because what's on the back is nothing here. So generally when bottom screens need to have a layer of insulation. For example, here's a good screen, and you notice a layer of insulation here. The reason is because if it's just metal on the back, and this back part is touching the motherboard, it's always contacting the motherboard, and if there's no layer of insulation, then it's going to short out the motherboard. And so I think that was what was going on. We still don't know if The bottom screen itself is good. If it probably is, since it's a replacement. So definitely a replacement screen, probably from a third-party vendor. So that's probably a good. I'm willing to bet that's fine, but that the motherboard just got shorted out. So in that case, we'll just put this motherboard to the side, and I will take a known good motherboard here. I have a bunch of these just in case the motherboard that I purchased, the DS, is bad. So I know this is a good motherboard. So basically what I want to do is I still want to test the top and bottom screens because I still don't know if those are in good working condition. If they are, in good working condition, then we're pretty much done. We just clean all the pieces and put it together with the known good motherboard and the screens, and we could save the other motherboard for fixing later, if at all possible. If it's not possible to fix this motherboard, then we could still take off a bunch of useful pieces, like the card reader is good to collect if off of bad motherboards, and a few other pieces. So we won't deal with the motherboard because that could be a pain in the butt to try to diagnose at this point. So yeah, we'll just continue with the known good motherboard, and we'll connect it to, well, not this screen yet. We'll connect it to a known good bottom screen, because I know this is a good screen, and we'll see if the top screen is fine. So what I'll do is I'll just connect it here on to the motherboard. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure these tabs are up against this plastic here. A lot of times people will try to replace the bottom screen, but they won't push this in all the way. And what will happen is that if this isn't in all the way, then it won't turn on. Their top screen will flash on, then off, and usually the reason is because this isn't in all the way, the bottom screen. And you also want to plug this back in, otherwise you won't get anything to show up on the screens. Okay, so let's put this in here and put in a known good battery, and we'll connect the top screen. And again, make sure it's in all the way. If your top screen isn't in all the way and you turn it on, then your bottom screen will flash on and off. So it's kind of a vice versa thing. If your bottom screen isn't in all the way, your top screen will flash on and off. If your top screen isn't in all the way, your bottom screen will flash on, then off. Okay. So we turn it on. Going on. Yeah, it looks fine to me. The flashing you see on the bottom screen isn't due to the bottom screen itself. It's due to the motherboard, and that's really easy to fix. It's just a little screw that we just have to turn to adjust. So that's looking fine. If we push what's the A button here? Yeah, looks good. So I'm going to say the top screen is fine. We could use that. Well, let's actually test this bottom screen too. Now, I don't want to put it onto my known good motherboard because of the issue here. And so what you'll want to do is you'll want to put a layer of insulation on here first. And usually what I'll do is I'll put on electrical tape, but I can't seem to find any at the moment, so we'll just improvise for testing purposes and put on a layer of Post-it notes. It just has to be a layer of insulation, and Post-it notes works as a layer of insulation. So we'll just do this real quick. Let's put a couple layers because I don't want to say this is a good motherboard. I mean, the majority of the time when I buy broken DSs on eBay, the motherboard is fine. The issue usually has to do with the screens or a dead battery. And so let's plug this in. Let's actually connect the touch screen as well. And touch screen, we'll just unplug this, is this little, connects to the back here near the card reader, and generally I'll do this first because it's a lot easier that way. And then we'll plug this in. Oops. Okay, so push the tab down. You want to push that black tab down. And again, to this end, because I commonly forget to plug this back in. Here, and then put in the battery. It's out of the way. And we'll connect the top screen. There we go. It's in all the way. Push the black tab down, and oops, let's us turn it on. It's coming on. Bottom screen seems to be coming on. There's a picture. So again, the flickering has to do with the motherboard. It's an easy fix, not the screen itself. So the screen looks good, we'll touch it. Why? No, that's... It should be... So the touch screen, might not be good. We will have to see if the touch... So that might... It's an easy fix when you just replace it with a good touchscreen. I have plenty of those. But the screen itself looks fine, as I expected it to, because it was purchased as a screen replacement. So what probably happened is the screen or the touch screen went bad, and so somebody purchased a new one. And then discovered it doesn't work. Okay, so let's plug this one in just to see. Because I know this is a good touch screen. So if this one works, we'll just use this screen in our new DS. And then you could save the other screen for later. Come on. It's kind of tricky sometimes when it's in here. It's in all the way. Put down. Okay, then we turn it on. It'll come on, so you know it will. It's fine. It's touch, yeah. So we'll just use this this bottom screen. So we know the touch screen on here is bad, so we can just toss it. But the screen itself is fine. Okay, so really not that bad. It looks like an easy fix. We'll just replace it with the good motherboard and a good bottom screen and put it back together. Well, first we'll take everything completely apart and clean the pieces. Like here, I need to clean off all these markings and decide which pieces I want to use. I want to make a black and silver one. I'll probably use this part here and have and then, yeah, we'll see. So I'll go ahead and go clean, and then when I come back, everything will be in pieces, and then, well, first I'll show you how to clean real quick. Cleaning isn't that hard. I will generally use Q-tips. Have a bunch of Q-tips on hand, and I'll use non-acetone nail polish remover. Seems to work really well. Make sure it's non-acetone. It's usually a pinkish color here, and yeah, it seems to work really well. And when you're cleaning, you really want to get into these grooves here too, on the inside. Even though this is not going to be showing, it's a good idea just to clean the DS as much as you can. Get it as clean as possible. So yeah, actually here, if I dip in real quick, dip in the Q-tip into here. Show you. It should come off really easily for all these markings. For the most part. And it's just give it a good scrub. I mean, this is a tedious part, but you know, it's necessary. Nobody wants a dirty DS. Okay. So with that, I'll go ahead and see how dirty that is. So with that, I'll go ahead and clean, and then I'll show you how to put it back together. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're back from cleaning the DS, all the pieces that we want to use for our new DS. And I like to mix and match the pieces, so I'm doing a black and silver one. So that means there will be the bottom part will be black, and then this bottom screen faceplate will be silver, and this will be black, then with a silver top, like that. And then the buttons will be black. The frame on the top screen is silver, and the frame on the bottom screen is black. So I kind of like making DSs like that. And it works well with this because we have a silver Game Boy Advance slot cover, and then this is just where it gets put on here. Is this where the stylus goes in? I don't have a silver stylus, so I'll just use a black one, but ideally I'd like to have a silver stylus for that. And so right now, we already know that the motherboard is fine. Other things to check on the motherboard that are very, very common are the shoulder buttons. The shoulder buttons are right here and here. It's very common that these will go bad in a sense. They'll stop working. This doesn't mean that they're bad. Is that I'm not going to show you now because these are fine. These shoulder buttons are fine. I've already tested them out. But if I do buy a DS that has bad shoulder buttons, then I'll make another video on that. But basically, there's a metal disc inside the shoulder buttons, and they get a layer. From time to time, they'll get a layer of a I don't know what it's called. It's just discoloration of the metal for its oxidation or something. And basically, it's really easy. You just scrub that off with some sandpaper, fine-grained sandpaper, and it comes right off. And put it back in, put it back together, and the shoulder buttons work fine. So a lot of times I get issues that somebody will say that the shoulder buttons don't work, and that's the reason why, usually. And so we know. So this one is fine. We know the motherboard is fine, and we know we tested the top screen. That's fine. The bottom screen and the touch screen is fine. So really, all that's needed is to put it back together again. And I'm not going to show you that in this video. I already have a video up that shows how to take a DS that's in this state and put it back together into its completed state. So if you want to know how to do that, just watch that video. It's pretty straightforward, but that's it. And I hope this video was useful for somebody, if anybody's watching. If not, then it's fine. I'll watch it again if I need to. Hopefully somebody will find it useful. And if so, then I can make another one with other issues. Anyway, thanks. Okay, so I'm not actually going to finish the video until I show you what the DS looks like in its completed state. So here we are. DS is all put back together, and I think it looks pretty good. And as you can see, we got a game of Mario Kart going. Everything's to be working fine. Figure 8. Oops. Oh. Could also play this. Oops. Haha, first place. So, yep. There you go. Anyway, hopefully you found that video useful, and let me know. Alright, thanks. Bye.